It's a talk show on the internet, a talk show from behind the bits. We'll talk and laugh and have a good time. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We hope you have a great time too. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the Behind the Bits BTB. What is this? It's the BTB Internet Talk Show. That's what we're doing here tonight. And I have some great guests with me. But first, I want to remind you that the Behind the Bits podcast is a serious talk about stand-up comedy. The BTB Internet Talk Show is pure pandemonium. So we're going to have some fun tonight and meet some new people. I'm going to meet some new people, and let's bring them on right now. First, we've got Wes Corwin. How you doing, Wes?
Hey, Scott. How you doing?
Great. How about Nick Baskerville? How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Glad to be here, sir.
Excellent. And then we've got Ashwyn Singh. How'd I do?
A pretty good at the end.
I really need to pop open this beer. I gotta relax a little bit.
Not that you asked, but I'm doing great too.
That sounded like that polite. Close enough. Sure.
Ooh, the last one was exactly correct. It's just
Ashwyn.
Ashwyn. There we go.
Ashwyn. Okay.
Yeah.
If you say it 4 or 5 times, you'll get it right once. So just
Actually, I'll probably get it wrong all 4 or 5 times. So let's hear about you guys. We do have another guy, Robert Peppers, who has not plugged in yet, and I haven't got a message from him. So we'll go with 3 unless he shows up. But Wes, let's hear all about you.
Hey, my name is Wes Corwin. My biggest claim to fame was one appearance that's going to come up later on the Behind the Bits podcast. Producing I'm the president of the Plano Comedy Festival, which is going to happen in October, and I've been doing comedy for 10 years. I won Funniest Comic in Texas in 2018. And that's what I'm bringing to the table. I also brought the sound effects machine. I don't know if it's going to come in handy at all, but I figured I wanted to come prepared.
Yeah, I couldn't actually get into my sound effects that I have on board. I've got a few here, but they're stupid. So if you want to put any in, that's cool.
Let me see. Is that
Ashwyn? That's good.
They go on too long. That's the problem. I'm sorry.
I may need that. I've got a couple here that do that too. Okay. Ashwyn, tell me all about yourself.
So I moved here from New Delhi about 5 years ago. I am a classic immigrant. In that I hate all second-generation immigrants, my future children. But I disappointed my parents for the first time when I was 12, and I really enjoyed the feeling. So I decided, why just stop with my parents? Let's disappoint all of society. So I am a stand-up comedian. I also run a music production company on the side. It's called Good Company Productions, and I have some, YouTube videos where I sing, and that's about it. That's me.
That's great. You know what? I started disappointing my parents when I was 12 too. That's the first time I smoked pot, and it was great. I didn't stop for a long time, and now I have, and I hear it's a lot better now. So whatever.
It's actually pretty funny that everybody that's older than 5 or 10 years older than me, that's been smoking pot since before it was legal, still when they smoke, they have that Pavlov training of they look left and right, they're about to jaywalk.
Yeah.
And I started smoking after it was legalized.
Uh-huh.
So I just I'm just crossing the red light when there's when I'm supposed to. So it's fine.
It's funny. When I started, though, it was illegal, but nobody cared. I mean, if you got caught, it was just not a big deal because it was in the 70s. So it was so what? I mean, they had bigger fish to fry then. So
I also think it's minorly dependent on who they're catching doing it.
But all right. Hey, Nick, what's up with you?
Oh, nothing much. Nick Baskerville. I am a part of a show called Clean AF Comedy. So we host the show on the interwebs there every Friday night at 6. Actually, we're starting season 2 tomorrow. And so we're a bunch of comics, jokes with folks, no fuss, no cuss. So I don't cuss out loud in front of other people. Mm-hmm. That's how that works. Yeah. But I may have some other visions and stuff that pop into my head. So I've been doing comedy for just over a year. I actually got my start with a military program called the Armed Forces. I'm sorry, I can do my letters now. Armed Services Arts Performance. So they actually teach people from the military community how to do comedy and poetry writing and improv and all that other sort of stuff. So
that's really great.
Yeah, because I don't think I would have been funny without it. Funny looking, sure, but beyond that, no.
Yeah, that's good. It's funny you do the Clean AF comedy. That's actually one of my jokes. I do one that I say that my wife and I have been together for 37 years and we're still in love. As a matter of fact, we're in love AF. And then I say always and forever. So that's the closest I get to swearing in my act. So that's pretty cool.
That's what AF stands for. Okay.
Yeah, always and forever, baby.
I thought it meant away from.
That it can be that too. Hey, before we go on, I want to bring up our sponsor. We actually have a sponsor for the podcast or the show, and this is the second time they've sponsored. It is Meditation for 2020. Everything is Real Bad edition. And what this is all about is you guys are going to bed with bad thoughts in your head, so you might as well use them as your mantra to go to sleep. So I put a few of them up that are on the app. You can get this app in the Google store or the iPhone store, whatever they call those. I'm 56. First one is, did he really do that? Next one is everything is wrong.
Sure is.
Shit.
Oh shit. So you can go to bed just saying those over and over again, and eventually you'll either go to sleep or start crying. So check that out on all the app stores. Once again, that is Meditation for 2020. Everything is Real Bad edition.
I would love to have like coasters that say that stuff.
Yeah, it's really great that I'm getting sponsors this early on, and every time you download that app, I get a nickel, and it's not even a real app, so that's cool.
Yeah, those will start to add up over time.
So the next part is really my favorite part of the whole show. This is what I like to call Dean Martin Dinner Party, and first of all, I got to ask, there's a couple young guys here. Do you know who Dean Martin is?
Yeah.
No.
You don't? Okay. You're gonna learn a little bit about him here. He was a good friend of Frank Sinatra. You know who Frank Sinatra is, I bet.
Yes.
So he did a lot of movies. He did a lot of movies with Jerry Lewis, a prominent comedian, and he was a great singer. I grew up listening to his box set, the albums of his box set. So basically, he died in, I think, either 92 or 95, but he was cryogenically frozen, and we are going to bring him back, and he's going to host a dinner party. The problem with this dinner party is you guys are all wallflowers, and you won't talk to each other, so he's going to bring up some topics to talk about. But first, I have to get into character because I'm Dean Martin, so just give me a second.
Sure.
When love hits your eye like a baked pizza pie, that's amore. Hey, I'm Dean Martin. How are you guys doing?
Oh, doing good, Dean. Doing good. Looking good.
Great. It's a real sausage fest in here tonight. Where's all the ladies at? Come on.
I miss Sinatra.
So you guys aren't talking. I thought I'd bring up some subject we could talk about to get the conversation started. I call them conversation starters. I'm Dean Martin. Hey.
All right, let's get the party started, Dean.
Thanks for inviting us to this dinner party, Dean Martin. I really appreciate it.
So Nick, with which famous person would you like to be quarantined with that you've never met?
Ooh, which person that I've never met? That's kind of tricky, because people think I look like Isaac from the Love Boat, and then there's also Shaft, and there's also Dolomite, and so you figure, living through their lives, I've met a lot of famous people. But man, which one? I don't. You know what? I'll be honest with you. This may surprise you, shock you, whatever else, and I'm just putting it out there. I want to meet Kanye West. I need to know exactly what is his. How does he come up with decisions? Like if for no other reason, because there's so many things that are outrageous that are happening in 2020, and I'm like, is it just 2020 happening, or is there something else going on? Are you doing this on purpose? It's kind of like your mantra thing.
I mean, he's bipolar, and he was super reasonable the first half of the year, so I can't hold the second half against him. So,
so that's who. Yep, that's it for me.
That's great. I think Kanye would be fun to stay with for a while, and he's very intelligent, and he can really write a good song. So, it's totally worth it. I'm Dean Martin. Thanks for telling me that, Nick. I appreciate it. Ashwyn. Same question. Hey, I'm Dean Martin.
I might pick like one of my probably one of the more popular, like my favorite comedians alive today. Like I'd probably pick like Hassan Minhaj or like Chappelle, just because I want to see how they come up with their shit. But also I want to convince them that I am interesting, so that they will if I could open for them, Chappelle probably.
Hey, I'm Dean Martin. You haven't convinced me yet. Come on.
Well, Dean, seeing that you are white and dead, you are not my target demographic for convincing of anything. So
That's fair.
Hey, not dead, frozen. I was cryogenic. Come on.
Yes, well, I've had frozen shrimp, and they're not alive either. So.
All right, thank you, Ashwyn. That's great. I was going to give you a drum beat, and I can't find it because I'm 56. Wes, hey.
Hey.
So who would you want to spend your quarantine with? Somebody famous.
I had the benefit of thinking about it while other people were talking. I think I'd go with Amelia Earhart. Wherever she is, she doesn't know what's going on, and I'd love to be with her in that perspective. I would love to think that things are getting better. I would love to be on an island and be like, oh man, how am I going to make fuel out of coconuts? Because that's so much better than being anywhere here ever in any capacity.
You must like our sponsor.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan.
Well, this has been some good early conversation here, but let's get into a kind of a weird one. Hey, Ashwyn, what's your favorite book?
The Symposium by Plato.
Oh, you're deep. I'm Dean Martin. Hey, Nick, same question.
Oh, that's easy. There's a book by Dan and Chip Heath called Made to Stick. And so it's all about the power of persuasion and how do you actually package what it is that you have in mind so that it sticks in people's head and it's just like catchy, kind of like along that same idea of a jingle that you just can't get rid of in your head. How do you do that on purpose? And they talk about an acronym that actually helps you to stick in the head, which I don't remember part of it. So I don't know if their acronym works as well as the theory in the book, but that's beside the point. But that's
so it's like a marketing degree for your thoughts.
Yes.
Huh. Might read that.
Well, that's cool. I should have read that when I was messing around with Jerry Lewis. That guy was a nut. Hey, Wes, same question. What's your favorite book?
Favorite book. Favorite book. I really like Ralph Ellison, Invisible Man. I read that in high school. I've been rereading that, and I've been getting like family members to reread that. That's just a horrifying story that I like to reread frequently. It's really fun.
I like you, Wes. You're dark.
Thank you.
I love when people read like unpleasant books, but they can't deal with their own discomfort.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
because I talked to this girl. I was like, I read 1984 and I had to stop halfway through because I found it very unpleasant. And I'm like, it's about the apocalypse. It's not surprising. Like I don't think you're supposed to enjoy it.
No, it should be a harrowing experience.
I think the idea is that it should scare you into not creating that as part of your actual future.
Right. Yeah.
And yet here we are in 2020.
Well, it's also funny because how are you still watching Game of Thrones? Because people burn in Game of Thrones. so it's more like if you make it digestible for me by producing it, directing it, and putting it on TV where I'm already watching it, I'll consume it. But God forbid I have to use my own imagination to bring words to life. You know.
That's some really good thoughts there. So I got to say, I won't tell you what my favorite book is, but I've been reading since I was unfrozen. I've been reading a lot of science fiction because that's basically what my life is.
Sure.
And James S.A. Corey, the Expanse series, is fantastic. It's it goes into politics, racism, all with all the sci-fi action you can handle, and the series is like 13 books. It's fantastic. It's also a show on Amazon that's not near as good as the books. I'm Dean Martin.
Dean Martin, are you brought to us by S.A. Corey?
Actually, no, but I might write to him and say, hey, I mentioned you, and at least 2 people were watching.
That's half the battle.
Your audience has grown.
It's a good series of books, I tell you. And if you get the Audible book, the dude that reads it is just like the best. I mean, he's a Broadway actor, and he's fantastic. And I almost got out of character there. I'm Dean Martin.
No, you're still. That's commitment. That's commitment to the bit.
This is one of my favorite topics, and I'm a music lover. So, hey, Wes, what's one of your favorite guilty pleasure songs?
Oh man, Pat Benatar's "Love Is a Battlefield," which is a good song. Like it's something you can enjoy on a non-ironic level. If you haven't seen the music video to "Love Is a Battlefield," it's a fantastic like story about Pat Benatar running away from home to become like a taxi dancer in a bar, and she ends up getting in a dance battle with like her dance pimp, and it's just fantastic. It's one of the best stories ever told.
I am so with you on that. Pat Benatar rocks. That was one of the first music videos on MTV. Fantastic. Thanks so much, Wes. Hey, Nick, how about you?
Oh, one of my guilty songs. You know what? It's Raining Men. Because when it first came out, it was like, oh, this is just the disco era. That's what we're doing. And now, like, I want to sing it, but then I don't want to sing it because I don't want to confuse people, right? You know, they're like, well, what are you telling me, Nick? Are you telling me? No, it's nothing subliminal. I like the music. Sure you do. And I guess you read the Exotic magazine just for the article too. Like, no one ever believes me when I just say I just like the beat, right? But I just I was there when it first came out. It had a different meaning then, I think, and now it's just like maybe I'll keep that to myself.
It's a flippin' awesome song. Do you other guys know that? Are you of the age you would know that?
I'm familiar with It's Raining Men.
That's the Weather Girls, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a jam. It is a hot beat.
It's Raining Men. Ashwyn, talk to me about your favorite guilty pleasure song.
I was thinking about this. This is like, okay, it's a funny story, but it's like gets a little bit sad. But my favorite song favorite guilty pleasure song it's called "Dancing on My Own" by Robin. It's like relatively recent, and like in the song, it's like just like the premise is there's like some girl who's in love with a guy who's in love with somebody else. It sounds like every other song. But but like I look down upon that kind of suffering. Like if somebody has suffering that other people have, I'm like, no, your suffering needs to be unique. Then I respect you. but but I take it kind of different. Cause like the premise of the song is like she's dancing on her own and sad that somebody else is dancing with somebody else, and I take that as like as a comedian, I'm just like there for your entertainment, but never to be connected with. This like wherever I am, I'm performing and I'm dancing on my own. Like, hey, I am a clown, and everybody's like entertained, but like they never come talk to me. Yeah, so that's my guilty pleasure. Because I use that song to be like, haha, my suffering is unique. I'm special, and I look down upon other people. So I feel guilty about it.
I think you'd be a great roommate. So, Dean has a guilty pleasure song. I don't know if it's guilty or not. I think it's one of the best songs ever written, and I wish I would have written it. It's a little ditty I like to call Champagne Supernova by Oasis. And I thought I'd sing a few bars. If you guys want to sing along, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too, because I'm one of the best crooners ever. So I'm right into it.
Mm-hmm. I think your friend Sinatra might disagree, but whatever.
How many special people change? How many lives are drained? Where were you when we were getting high? Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where were you while we were getting high? Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide on a champagne supernova in the sky. You know, I think that's enough. My wife's giving me really weird looks, so I think that's totally enough. I love that song. Oasis really needs to get back together. The brothers need to start talking. I don't know what's wrong with them. Stupid Gallaghers. So I think
you know a band that's a family that I wish would have stayed estranged? The Jonas Brothers.
Oh, how couldn't they get into a fist fight?
Because the day they made peace, I was like, this is going to lead to some very bad music.
You know, I don't think I ever listened to an entire song by them. I'm out of character. Hey, I'm Dean Martin.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm gonna hate this song, and they were like, haha, sucker, and then they named the song that. So
now the other brothers that I think are pretty good is Hanson, and Bop is probably one of their weaker songs. If you listen to the other stuff, it's really good stuff. So give them a chance. They're not even together anymore, so don't give them a
chance. for no reason at all. My favorite brothers are the Koch brothers.
So I think we've done a good job with the whole Dean Martin thing. You guys play along well. I'm not Dean Martin anymore. I'm back to being Scott Curtis. I'm the host of the Behind the Bits show and the BTB Internet Talk Show. So let's just bring it back. I really want to talk to you guys and find out what's on your mind. Hey, Nick, what's on your mind tonight?
Well, I'm gonna talk about something here that I'm gonna talk about again tomorrow in the show, and I just got to say this. There's no other way to say it. Sprinkles are the most worthless thing to put on a donut. Just it makes no sense. They don't bring any value. And let me tell you how I figured this out. So I'm in the fire department, but I actually work in an office job. And let me tell you something. Firefighters love donuts more than cops do. Okay. Actually, to be honest, we love all food. We love all pastries. All pastries matter. We don't want to just we will eat them all. So donuts, cakes, donut cakes, all that stuff. We love them. So I'm sitting in my office and email pops up. There's donuts in the main office. So now I'm hurrying up to go get to the office, not because I'm greedy. Okay, no, because I'm a hero. And I know that there's evil calories in all those donuts. And if I'm going to save my friends, I need to eat as many donuts as possible to help protect them. So I bust through the door in my, no cape or whatever, but I hear some theme music in the back. And so and on the way there, I'm like, I wonder if it's Dunkin' Donuts or Krispy Kreme or whatever that happens to be. And I look at the box. It says Duck Donuts. Like, what does a duck have to do with donuts? Like, this is not a spinoff from the Duck Dynasty sort of thing, because like the donuts will be all like camouflage or whatever. Like, I don't know if that's going to work either. Turns out Duck Donuts is a donut shop that's pretty common on the East Coast. It goes out west a little bit. So I open it up. Oh my God. Let me tell you about these donuts. These donuts are phenomenal. They're made to order. And so you can get a vanilla cake donut, just a regular one. And then you get to pick what you put on top of it. So the first layer, you can have like, what can you have? You can have chocolate, you can have maple, you have strawberry thing, right? And then you could put some topping on, another topping on it, or like seasoning. It's like seasoning your food, right? Now you could do some boring sprinkles. Sure, they look pretty, but whatever. Or you can put cookie crumbles, right? Mm-hmm. You can put cinnamon, right? Mm-hmm. You can put bacon on a donut. Mm. Oh, and then it doesn't stop there, because now you can put another layer of topping on top of that. You can put caramel. You can put all that on a donut. And I'm like, wow. So I had 2 donuts. I had 2 while people were looking. We don't need to get into what happened to the other ones there, because again, I mean, I'm there to help save people, and so I exercise a lot. I take leaps of faith. I jump to conclusions. I am constantly running my mouth, so I know I'm gonna burn all this stuff off. And I was like, why do I hate sprinkles? And then it dawned on me, I hate sprinkles because sprinkles with no taste is like people who don't season their food. That's what it is. That's, if you're going to season your food, you got to put all the stuff on there. And I just want the world to know that there are alternatives to sprinkles. So that's what's on my mind. That's what I feel like I need to tell the world. Sprinkles bring no value to food.
I can't agree with you more on that, because so many of the sprinkles after you pick up the donut just end up on the floor anyway, and it's just a mess. And I have to say, we got a Duck Donuts locally, and I won't go because I don't let myself eat donuts anymore, because it's very easy for me to gain weight, and one donut is like 5 pounds, so I haven't gone yet.
Well, I'm not saying that I'm a hero, but I'd be there to save you if you needed to.
Yeah. You know what? What if you chopped up some of the duck and you put it in the donut? Then you could call it Dunkin' Donut.
Yeah, and if you cook duck right, it's good. I don't eat meat or anything like that, but if you cook duck right, it can be really good, and I think you can sweeten it up a little bit with some maple.
And that's why Dunkin' Donuts tastes like shit. Yeah. I've been Dean Martin. Thank you very much.
I challenge you to do some YouTube searches of Dean Martin. The guy was so cool, and I'm going to get a wig for the next time I do this, since I don't have any hair. So,
is he like a stereotypical cool guy? Because I literally don't know anything about him.
He's a stereotypical. So his stereotype was that he was Italian, and he acted very Italian, and that he was a big drinker. There have been reports out that he didn't drink as much as they say he did, that most of the time he had a drink in his hand, it was water, or it was Coke or something like that. So, he comes off as a big drinker, but I don't think he quite was. But he was a very good singer.
Huh. Yeah. I'll have to look him up.
And some of his movies are great. The one, I wasn't a huge Martin and Lewis fan after I was like 10, but some of the movies he did, like Matt Helm, and he did some westerns that were really good. So he's a pretty good actor too.
Right.
Hey, Wes, it's me, Scott. It's not Dean Martin anymore. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Scott?
All right. What's on your mind?
Not on the exact same subject as donuts, but I've been thinking about my health. Been thinking about weight recently. I had an experience recently where I found out I have high blood pressure from my dentist, and that's not who you shouldn't be finding that out from that guy. You shouldn't. How bad is it when the guy checking your teeth is like, by the way, you're unhealthy. You need to work on that. Like I got really frustrated. Like I feel like I shouldn't be hearing about it from him. I have a doctor, and he just is. He does. I think he hopes the pandemic takes me out at this point. I don't think he's a fan person. I went to see my doctor, and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "I think I have high blood pressure." And he's like, "I'm supposed to tell you that. Why do you think that?" And I was like, "My dentist told me." And he went, which that's judgmental. And then he put the thing around my arm. He put like a machine. He didn't like wrap his hand. He's not that good of a doctor where he can go, "Well, you feel healthy." Like he put like like a thing around my arm, and then he pumped it, and then he said like, no, you have high blood pressure. You should do something about that. And then there was a lengthy pause, and I was like, "Cool, could you give me some tips on what I can do to be healthier? Like, do you have like dietary things, or should I go running more frequently, or should I like more fats, less fats? Like, what do you think, doctor?" And then I swear the way he reacted was, "Never mind, you're fine. You're fine." He just did the arm thing. He knows my blood pressure. The second he had to put effort into it, he was like, it's Thursday. It's 3:00. I can wait this out. Just get out of the room. Get out."
Yeah. Your insurance doesn't give you any more than 5 minutes. So
no, he has a file with my name on it, and I'm sure it's full of like doodles of the Ninja Turtles. Ways to kill. I'm pretty sure the only reason he takes my blood is so I'll have less of it at this point.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, when you were like, he like touches your, he's not good enough to touch your arm and be like, "You seem fine." I was like, that's also the definition of a very bad mental health professional. Where you're like, "I think I'm depressed," and he's like, "Well, you feel fine."
Nah, I think you're wrong. I think you're dumb. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's like, is that a mental health professional or my parents? Where I'm just like, "Dad, I'm depressed." He's like, "You're fine."
Mm-hmm. Get out of
Did
here.
you go to sleep? Did you get enough sleep? Have you tried going to bed yet?
Try drinking water until you're fine. Get out. Get out.
Like, "No, Dad, I'm depressed." He's like, "But would you at least try it?"
Yeah.
You know, I totally dig why they take your blood pressure at the dentist, though, because it's been years ago, but I had a terrible experience with a root canal at one of our local dentists, and they wanted to put me out, and I didn't want to be put out, and so they were mad at me, and they only gave me one injection of the Novocaine, and they worked on me for, I think it was 4 or 5 hours, and it wore off, and I finally had to grab somebody by the wrist and say, "Hey, I'm in pain." And so I left. They put a temporary thing on it, and I wrote them a nasty letter. And when I came back, they had to put the permanent cap on, and the assistant, whatever the hygienist or whatever, took my blood pressure, and she said, "Hey, your blood pressure is a little high." And I said, "Do you know what happened to me here?" And that's when the owner of the place came in and took over, and I gave him a piece of my mind and got my tooth fixed. But I'm scared of dentists now. I've never been scared of my dentist in my life, but you know, I think it was 7 or 8 years ago. I've been scared of them ever since.
Do you guys think it would be funny if like you went to the doctor and you had high blood pressure and they just took enough of your blood out that your blood was less dense? It would really take the pressure off.
That would solve the problem. That would be.
Or they injected Diet Sprite or something.
Like I was really stressed because I went to my doctor with high blood pressure. He took my blood though, really took the pressure off, you know.
Yeah.
Less.
So Wes, on the Plano Comedy Festival, you're done taking the entrance for that, right?
We closed submissions on the midnight. When we went over to August 1st, we closed. We're reviewing videos. We're gonna try to send acceptance emails out very, very quick.
Mm-hmm. And what's the date of that?
October 1st through the October 4th of October.
And who are some of your headliners?
We got Kurt Braunohler. We have Lori Kilmartin, who's a writer on Conan. We have Karith Foster. We have Steve Hofstetter. We have Mary Kennedy, Roxy Hayes. It's a very good lineup, and it's only going to get stronger as we announce, because some of the people who applied are insane. So it's going to be real good.
That's great. I'm really looking forward to watching that. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ashwyn, what's on your mind?
I actually kind of already brought it up. I hate my future children. I was just thinking about, it's like, okay, I was just thinking about what it would be like to have kids, and like I know a lot of second generation immigrants in this country, and like knowing them doesn't really give me a lot of confidence in my future children. I don't think I'll like them. It's because I've seen them get on stage and talk about problems that they consider to be immigrant problems that I as an immigrant don't even have. Like, and it just feels like they're commodifying my experience. Like once I was sitting in like for a show, and this second gen immigrant on stage was like, haha, my parents do this silly shit, isn't it funny? And I was like, it is funny. And then I was like, wait, he's talking about me. But like, thanks to second gen immigrants, people think my biggest problem as an immigrant is being asked what country I'm from. Like, they're like, where are you from? I'm from here. Where are you really from? Now I'm supposed to be offended. Mm-hmm. I don't actually have this problem, because for me the conversation's more like, where are you from? New Delhi. Cool. Just tell them where I'm from. But so just like you get on stand-up comedy stages, you commodify my experience, and then you still call yourself immigrant. Because here's the thing too, right? First-gen immigrant is like another word for somebody that wasn't born in this country, moved here, and then like dealt with culture clashes and like how to be themselves in a place where nobody understands them. Second-generation immigrant is another word for not an immigrant.
Yeah.
They were born here, they did nothing, and now they get on stage and talk about me.
You could actually call them a citizen.
Yeah, it's like every time I see them on stage, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's your dad I would want to have a drink with. You did nothing to be here. But anyway, this is like my biggest complaints I have as a person that moved. Like one of my other like huge complaints as an immigrant is I went to all the trouble of learning your language, and then you just change words up on me. Like I thought the word special was supposed to mean unusual. Turns out it just means everybody. And like, okay, this is the latest one. What is, somebody explain this to me? What is big dick energy? Like it sounds like an electricity company. like big pharma. Like your electricity bill is $50 for this month, brought to you by Big Dick Energy. and then they explain it to you, and they're like, "Oh, it means confidence." And I'm like, "Then why'd you come up with a new word? The old one wasn't good enough. Like, what's the problem with like?" Is this okay? I don't understand why we have a trend of using like genderized body parts for like values. Like, is it not already weird that if you call somebody a pussy that you're a dick? Or like also, those are not okay. But if you use either of them, you're just an asshole. But then why is that okay?
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, okay, like you had to create also like, what is the implication of like big dick energy signifying confidence? Like, are you really implying that men that have bigger dicks are more confident than other men? Because like you give me like as an immigrant, right? It's like I had to go through being myself when nobody would let me. You put me next to any dude with a bigger dick than me, which, by the way, based on demographics, is most dudes, and I will wipe the floor with him. Like, do you know how much confidence is required to be poor and an immigrant and ask for like 4 extra slices of bologna on your Subway sandwich? And the white guy on the other end is giving you dirty looks? Like, you know the confidence required to look at him and be like, look me in the eyes and see I don't give a shit what you think? like also, and by the way, I'm an immigrant building a life for myself the hard way. You were born here with every privilege and still ended up working at Subway. Like, I really don't think I'm the one that should be ashamed of myself in this situation.
You know, I have to say that I've never heard the term big dick energy because I may have mentioned I'm 56 and I just don't get all that. But I have to say that guys with the smaller dicks have had to try harder for so long. I would think that we would actually have more confidence and be better at whatever we're doing.
Well, the funny thing too to me is like my fundamental disagreement with a bigger dick signifying confidence is that like if you were a girl, usually like with all due sensitivity, if you're a girl, you don't have a dick, right? So by default, a guy's dick will always be bigger than a girl's dick, but the male ego is so much more fragile. So I am like not agreeing with this like implication. Like all I have ever needed to do to like use a dude's ego against him is like sometimes I'll tell a girl she's attractive and their boyfriend gets really mad. But then I tell the boyfriend I also find them really attractive, and it ceases to be a problem. Because they're like, jealousy first or homophobia, can't decide. Like, it's like Ashwyn 1, male ego 0.
So I got to ask, you're in Canada. How do you guys talk about us folks over here in the States?
Oh, it depends on where you are, what your like bent is, like liberal, conservative. We do think you're taking slightly too much risk with the whole COVID thing than you should.
Fair.
And your president is a universal dumbass, which is it's fun for us to watch. Like you, as a country, you've just been so powerful for so long. It's just a testament to the what's the phrase, like the higher they are the harder they fall.
Yep.
But it's really funny for me to think like your president is representative of your population because I don't want to think that.
Right.
Oh.
He's not, and yet he is at the same time because I can say he's not representative of me. But I can say that my boomer brethren, he is representative of many of them and their children. So it's just it's sad to say, but that's the way it is these days. And at least we know what people think now.
Well, to tell you the truth, the thing that bothers me most is not what's happening, but like that you guys don't ever seem to reconcile with each other. Over your experiences. Like there's just such a divide in conversation where it's like everybody on Facebook that I've ever seen that's liberal is like, if you voted for Trump, get off my Facebook. And it's like 400 years of racism and you still think segregation is the solution? Like it just like that's the kind of thing where like if you're mad at somebody, I understand, right? And if you don't like them after getting who they are, understanding who they are, I get that too. But when people say, I don't understand how this happened, I'm like, well, then you're stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Like understanding is on you. So like any of the other emotions, I get it. But if you don't understand, then this is on you. Like you're probably part of the problem. So that's my, like, I guess that's the way I look at it. I'm not sure like most of Canada would agree with me, but
and also not to get too serious or philosophical, I think that we've got a number of people who may be on the edge of changing their minds, but then something's thrown in their face and they're not quite ready to change yet, and then they draw a line in the sand and dig their heels in and don't change. But on the other hand, I feel there's some people who won't change, and that we need to speak up for the people who have been marginalized in our society for so long, and if white people don't do it, then nobody's going to do it, and it's just going to be the races trying to stick up for themselves, and so we have to be on board, and we have to do what people of color tell us to do for once, so that things can finally heal. That's my soapbox. So
I'm curious for you guys. Have you seen Jim Jeffries' latest Netflix special?
I have not.
So he says this like super. I mean, he's kind of abrasive as he always is, but like one of the things he said was like, it's true that this latest generation is the most progressive generation that's ever been, right? But then he says, but here's a newsflash: every generation is the most progressive generation that's ever lived while they're alive. So it's like, just like, stop trying to make all of society move as fast as you're moving, because like combined with social media and impatience, right? It's like he tells a story about how his dad voted yes for gay marriage, and he does that joke on stage, and his dad was mad at the bit, not because like he's against gay marriage, but because his like conservative friends now know that he voted for gay marriage. And he's like somebody called his dad transphobic, and Jeffries was like, God, dude, this guy became okay with gay yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just throw everything at him in under 30 seconds. Like, give him a second to imbibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was
that's so true with boomers. I think a lot of us could come around. It's really too late because we did a lot of damage, but we could come around, and then when the millennials and the star children and everybody do the uprising, then I think the good boomers should be spared and allowed to have a small plot of land somewhere and farm that.
Right.
So I think that would be good.
And I do think like media and internet are like a little bit of a part of the problem, because when you're always engaged, you can't think that like being bored is acceptable. So like if there's even a minute where the world is not doing something, you like want it to take action, you know? But the reality is, like, being bored should be fine. Like, that's when you want to read a book. Like, one time I was at the gym, and there was this girl, she was like listening to the music coming from the speakers and like a podcast in her ears, and she was talking to her friend. And I was like, exactly how much do you hate the sound of your own voice? You know? I just like I don't know. I think patience is a virtue, and like I would hate for, like, if there are lots of people on the borderline, like you say, who are like just about to be converted to like a good way of thinking, I would hate to lose them just because I am angry. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. You know, while you were saying that, I was thinking I was brought up in an all-white town, and I really shook things up when I bought a Rick James album and started singing "Give It to Me, Baby" in school, and it was really a cool moment for me. And Rick James.
But did you get the beads in your hair? That's what I need to know. Did you get the beads in your hair and say, "Give it to me, baby"?
For like 5 minutes, I had long enough hair to do that, and I would have liked to. Nobody in my town knew how to do it.
That just like reminds me of a joke where somebody was like, I was trying to introduce Dave Chappelle to one of my friends, and my friend was like, "Is that the guy that goes, 'I'm Rick James, bitch'?"
Do you know? You can look this up. Do you know that he was in a band with Neil Young?
Dave Chappelle?
No,
Rick James.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't remember the name. I think maybe it was called Brave Belt, but so they're both from Canada, and they both hooked up in the music scene, and they were in a band for a short time together. Yeah. I am like a music encyclopedia for anything like pre 1980. So yeah,
That's great.
Could you do like 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon? Could you connect Rick James to Dean Martin real quick before?
Oh man. So we got Rick James. Oh, real easy. Rick James, Neil Young. Neil Young did one, I think, duet with Tony Bennett, and Tony Bennett worked with Dean Martin.
Wow.
So Robert, I see you there, but I can't bring you in because we're actually almost done. I think you got the time wrong, and
time zone. Damn it.
I'll put you on the next one. But we are just about to wrap up. I want to make sure that Ashwyn, that we talk about your YouTube channel. Can you direct people to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I run a music production company. It's called Good Company Productions, and so we've been trying to help artists with, whatever they need right now, because a lot of them don't have their own platform where they can sell stuff. So we have like a band shop on our website where you can actually just like register whatever items you have for free, and we don't take any of the like profit or anything. As long as you pay shipping, you can order whatever you want. And we've been doing live concerts, but like we live stream them to viewers. And so we just opened up our YouTube channel, and we've been doing these like recordings one-on-one with artists called Golden Hour, where we record them during sunset, any song that they want. So the link you see, the YouTube link you see, is a video of my Golden Hour. So I sang a song by Sam Cooke actually, called "Bring It On Home." I really enjoy that song. But it's
contemporary of Dean Martin.
Oh yeah, didn't know that.
I think a little bit better singer though. That "Bring It On Home" is a good song.
Yeah, but so that's the YouTube link, and I would love for people to take a look at the channel and then go to the website and see if they would like to subscribe. It's good music.
Excellent. I'll share that around. It's hard to type all those characters in because
definitely
why you click, but I'll share it around.
Thank you.
The Plano Festival, Wes, that is October 1st through 3rd, right?
October 1st through the 4th. You can go to planocomedyfestival.com. We're going to open up sales on August 14th. It's going to be real good, real fun.
Excellent. And the Clean AF Comedy, where do we find that?
So if you just simply go on Facebook and you search for that page for Clean AF Comedy, you just do a search for it. It'll pop right up. There's also a group as well, but you don't need to worry about that because we're moving that stuff there to the page, and then we're also going to connect to the YouTube channel as well.
Okay, excellent. Hey, it was really great meeting you guys. I knew Wes a little bit because I interviewed him for the podcast, but it was really great getting to know you guys, and I hope you had fun because I had fun.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
Dean Martin. This is crazy.
Yep, and we now know that there's at least one person here who is like third degree connection to Dean Martin. He might be like a cousin or something like that. So there you go.
Yeah, no doubt. I got to get that right because I think Neil Young did something with Tony Bennett, but I'm not 100% on that. So that's going to bug me until I go to bed tonight. So I'll check that out for sure. But thank you guys so much for being on the show. Robert, I see you there. I'm going to have to get you on a future show. We started an hour. We started at 8 Eastern, and you may have thought Central. So I apologize for that, Robert, but I'll get you on a future show. The Behind the Bits podcast comes out every Tuesday now. I used to put them up on Friday, but they come out Tuesday. And Wes is actually going to be up on next Tuesday. And this week I've got Joanne Filan, who's a comic from New Jersey. And that was a great interview. And tomorrow I am going to announce the winners of round 3 of my Dream Guest playoffs, which is a really cool thing cool to me that I'm doing is I'm taking all my dream guests, I'm putting them in a sports bracket. I don't do sports at all, but I'm putting them in a sports bracket. And this is round 3. Next week will be the semifinals, and I'll start that actually tomorrow. And the winner of the finals on the Dream Guests playoffs is going to get me hounding them relentlessly to be on my podcast. If they say yes, I'm done. But I'm gonna document everything. I'm going to video myself calling their people and trying to do this 6 degrees of separation, try to find people that they know that might get them on the podcast. And I'm going to use Twitter and all the stuff that I don't know how to use to try to get them on the podcast. I'm going to keep going until they either come on and get interviewed or put out a restraining order on me. So that's the whole goal of that. So that's going to be a lot of fun when I figure out who that is. And I've got, let me see, Lewis Black is, who's he against? I can't remember. I've got some good ones up there. Dave Chappelle is holding on strong, and Letterman is holding on strong. And who else? I got a couple. I got 2 more, but that are doing well, but I can't remember them. So that's what I've got going on. I've got some great interviews coming up, and Wes is a really good one. And talking about the Plano Fest, and it's going to come at a good time since tickets are going to go on sale here pretty quick. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing yourself with me for an hour. I appreciate everything you guys do. Comedy is important. Having fun is important, because we got to do all the serious stuff. We got to let loose a little bit sometimes. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
Everybody,
Yeah, thank you.
have a great night.
Later.